Valentine's Day, you thought is. I hope y'all all feeling very amazing. Hope y'all feeling incredible. And blessings to all of y'all out there. Show love to the people that you love and show love to yourself and have a great Valentine's Day. So yeah, on this Valentine's Day, this is a very special one. This Valentine's Day, Venus and Neptune will be conjunct. Venus and Neptune. Y'all, check this out. Venus is exalted in Pisces, the 12th sign. Neptune governs the 12th sign of Pisces. So Venus is exalted and Neptune is home. This is the perfect visitor that you would love to have. The dreamy Venus and the dreamy Neptune. Y'all, think about this right now. Venus, Neptune. Neptune is said to be the higher octave of Venus. And notice how Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus is exalted in the sign that Neptune rules. And this is a very beautiful, dreamy Neptunian conjunction. The source of Neptune will cover Venus. This is something that is 100% extremely beautiful because this happens on Valentine's Day. Getting the most intuitive, spiritual, psychedelic, trippy, dreamy, ethereal, metaphysical connection that love has to offer is what this transit is showing us. So y'all, make sure y'all get y'all copy of Astrostetics right now. Y'all could check this out. Neptune governs spirituality. Neptune governs, hold up, y'all. Man, I'm trying to like fit it in the frame right now. Because y'all know I'm reading directly out of Astrostetics, right? Neptune governs spirituality, intuition, ethereal energy, psychic abilities, the imagination, movies, cinema, dreams, unknown mysteries, allure, and mystique. And y'all know what Venus deals with. Y'all know I'm going to do a whole separate video on Neptune, right? But y'all should be very familiar with the properties of Venus. Because essentially, Venus is all of these things. Venus is spirituality. Venus is imaginative. Venus deals with sensualization of the senses. That is what Neptune does. Neptune sensualizes reality and adds that divine sense of imaginative expansion and wonder to the physical reality. This is why Neptune governs Pisces, which is the fantasy. This is the imaginative, invisible. Y'all know my mind. Like I'm just trying to keep it. This is the imaginative, invisible aspect of what reality is. You may not be able to see it. Sometimes you might not be able to feel it. You just got to be divinely aware of the higher octaves of reality. So this is a very beautiful, etherically sensitive Valentine's Day. Very chill, calm, relaxed, etheric. See your lover in your dreams. Dreams of your lover. This is that type of Valentine's Day. And this is a beautiful one because the relationships that we foster will elaborate them from a very spiritually, not necessarily complex, but this will get the mind flowing. And when you look at Mercury being in Aquarius, right? And this not really aspecting these transits, not really, Mercury isn't really aspecting Venus and Neptune directly, but however, what it is doing is it's still behind Venus and Neptune. Mercury is in Aquarius, Venus and Neptune, they're both conjoined in Pisces. So our relationships and also our investments in tandem with our friends and people in our community, we will have a great transit to analyze the highest spiritual values of our relationships. And it'll, for some, it'll bring things like confusion up to the surface. This is a great time to analyze relationships from a deeper, more etheric aspect, and also even friendships. Because at times, yes, we love, think about a large crowd. When you're in a large crowd at times, it might be hard to distinguish who's who, right? You would have to make sure that you are in a constantly intimate, moving space when you are inside of a confined space, even with large people there. And in situations like this, it could be very like confusing. It could be very wonderful, right? Wonderful. When I say wonderful, I mean like leaving the mind to wander and ponder, because that is what Neptune is about. Neptune is about pondering and searching and getting lost in the fantasy of it all. But this is also what Venus essentially wants us to do. So when we're really building on this Venus and Pisces, and y'all know in Astrostetics, we pay attention to the generational planets in the case of these beautiful conjunctions as such. So this conjunction right here, aside from when it comes to the mercurial aspect, you gonna see people waking up to their relationships, their friendships, their social surroundings, and elaborating that from a very spiritual point of view. This can make some people aware of the past from a very spiritual aspect, and people will wake up to some of the more closer, intimate relationships that they have. Now, the last time that this happened, right? Well, honestly, Neptune has been in Pisces for about uh 11 years now. Neptune has been in Pisces for 11 years. So think, y'all, 2012, right? Around 2012, the ending of 2012, coincidentally, coincidentally, that's the time that Neptune went into Pisces. When Neptune was in Aquarius, we had these very invisible, illusionary things happening on social media, even with also with large groups of people. And now think about this too, because when we have Saturn going into this aspect of Pisces, this is going to add some strictness and some authority and some regulation to some of the more imaginative aspects and what we're seeing on a collective level. So it's very important. And y'all, in about maybe I think 2 years, in about 2 years, 2.5 years around there, Neptune is going to go into Aries. So that's something that's very interesting as well, right? Neptune, the elusive one, because y'all, this is what makes Neptune so dope. You essentially cannot see Neptune, right? Now you got a crazy telescope, and if you may be looking at it with some gamma rays or some X-rays, you probably could see Neptune. But when you try to see Neptune with your naked eye, I don't know, my guy. I don't know, my guy. Right? I don't know how well you may fare with that, because Neptune is very invisible. I've seen multiple sources say that if you looking out at the stars on a clear night, you could probably see Uranus. Like yo, you would have to really be. You couldn't have no light pollution, and your odds would have to be 1,000, right? I was about to say A1. Like your eyesight gotta be A1, right? Now, with this factor right here, Uranus is a bit more visible and you can see it. Uranus is still very random and extremely intuitive in an orthodox way, but Neptune is 100%. Well, I don't want to say 100%, but let's say you're not seeing Neptune, but failing the effects of Neptune is what Neptune is really trying to get us to do. And even when they found Neptune, they they knew Neptune was there, I think, because something was disturbing the orbit of Uranus. I think that's how they found Neptune, or that's how they began to suspect that Neptune was there, because they saw it, they felt the effects of it, right? We felt the effects of it. We knew it was somewhere there, or something was there. And that is what Neptune is going to do. It's that something is there, that invisible factor where you know that something is there. It's that higher sense of awareness and that divine sense of spiritual authority. And this is also what makes Pisces such a beautiful sign and, extremely etheric. Now, when it comes to this aspect with Venus in Pisces and Neptune there, this is 100% a more etheric time where we even can reflect on elements of our abundance. Don't forget that maybe about 12, no, maybe I don't know, 10 months ago, yeah, about 10 months ago, Jupiter was where Neptune is right now, right? Jupiter was in Aquarius in about 2021, but I mean Jupiter is going what is in Aries now, but Jupiter was in Pisces about a year ago, right? This book right here was created while Jupiter was in Pisces, right? So with this aspect, um Jupiter and Neptune, they're not that far away, but Jupiter travels so fast. And well, I said Jupiter travels so fast because remember, y'all, Jupiter is a gas giant, right? After Mars, you have Mars, then you have an asteroid belt in between, then you have Jupiter, right? In between Mars and Jupiter, you have an asteroid belt, but behind the asteroid belt, where Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune lie, these are the gas giants of the zodiac, right? So when you're dealing with Mercury, Venus, the Earth, Mars, you're dealing with the physical, visible universe that you can see. But when you dealing with Neptune, right? Neptune is on the outer ends. Uranus is on the outer ends, right? Saturn is on the outer ends. Jupiter is on the outer ends, and they're all gas giants. You begin to deal with more type of idealistic kind of things. And when we saying idealistic, we saying that they kind of just more principalistic on a higher level. This is why when you're dealing with the planets behind the asteroid belt, right? They're more grand. They have more of a higher authority, right? But when we're dealing with Mercury, Venus, the Earth, and Mars, these planets are more in our immediate confined place. They're closer to the sun, right? And the sun had what the sun's influence is closer to the luminary, right? So things like the greenhouse gas effect, right? The light getting absorbed by the gases and that luminary is able to solidify aspects of that luminary, right? But then, y'all, we're living in a very weird universe. It's almost like the universe, it naturally bring things together. And I say this because when you look at Jupiter, Jupiter has rings around it. When you look at Saturn, Saturn has rings around it. Uranus has rings around it, right? That's something that a lot of people forget and some don't know. Uranus has rings around it, and Neptune has rings around it as well, right? Now the rings around these outer planets, they're not as mystical as the rings around Saturn, but what you gotta understand is that this is an attempt in a way to get all of these loosely moving particles together. But because they're so far away, like even the fact that Mars and Jupiter, right, are separated by an asteroid belt, like it's something that's extremely paradoxical, because it's like in between our drive, our passion, and that need to want to excel and expand to a higher level, there's these little moving parts that orbit around our space. And it's important for us to analyze these deeper aspects. But when it comes to analyzing things, this can lead us to beautiful parts of the mind. When you're trying to wonder and ponder on something, and then before you know it, you could figure things out. This is how people figure things out in like dreams. People figuring things out in daydreams, wanting to analyze and acquire the information for something on such a beautiful level that before you know it, you just figure it out. You figure it out. What's it about? What's the analyzing the more finite aspects of what you're looking at? You break that down, and then you go into a space where, now your mind is going, your mind is flowing, you're getting all types of different type of creative inspiration. This is something that's defining this transit. This Venus and this Neptune in Pisces. The information that you're gaining on a light speed. Because remember, y'all, we mentioned that in Astrostetics, and we mentioned that in our last video, reading a bit of Astrostetics when we were speaking about Aquarius. This is something that I need y'all to understand, that these transits are going to allow us to tap into our most unique spiritual natures, and it will raise our awareness for what is there, the reality that could be. Some people might be tapping in with parallel universes. The next thing that we also got to speak on is also our investments. Paying attention to us, staying balanced with our investments, not getting too lost in mystique. This Valentine's Day, yo, it's going to be a lot of money all over. People may invest things that your partner wanted to do for a long time, things that your partner was things that your partner was saying, yo, I had a dream about this. I had a dream about this. I was fantasizing about this. Your partner, you gonna be like, man, I want to make that happen. You want to make that real, right? Getting serious about our standard of innovation. When it comes to you innovating, how serious, how stern, how determined are you willing to be? When you want to innovate something and make it as practical as possible, manifest it to the most grand, ambitious, beautiful level. This transit can also make us more expansive and sentimental about our business and our finances. Investing in our dreams, investing in the things that are the sentiments of our soul, investing in the sentiments of your soul. What is that? How do other people assist that? Do other people assist that? And those endeavors, when you want to get sentimental, when you want to get special and make something beautiful happen, right? And y'all know one of the next beautiful things that I want to do is I want to speak on the element of Neptune being in Pisces, and how this created some interesting things in the area of woke spirituality, because this is something that I think a lot of people got to understand, that there has been a lot of crossing of worlds. There's been a tremendous amounts of worlds. Some worlds naturally cross, and some things have been artificially compacted together. And based on what we see, we make these very loose idio idiosyncratic idiosyncratistic connections, that we're forcing connections between things because we're getting lost in the reality of what we want them to be. And one thing that falls in line with this is the toxic spirituality. Toxic spirituality leads to toxic positivity. But where does the toxic spirituality comes from? Sometimes, as challenging to perception as what I'm about to say could be, that sometimes might just come from wanting to be appreciated, wanting to be received, wanting to spread good vibes, wanting to make others around you happy. But that's why sometimes, man, you really just gotta keep it G. You just gotta keep it a beanity. Know what I mean? And when you do this, when you keep it G, you stop trying to imagine, and overanalyze relationships for what they're not. You end up just being 100% a stack with yourself. That's the best thing to be. Getting fantasizing about yourself in a positive way. Because at times, giving too much of yourself to others, that deposits from you. People withdrawing from you, they depositing. What are they doing? This deals with the analytical aspect. when we hitting that undertone of Mercury and Pisces. A little bit. But when it comes to this woke spirituality stuff, y'all see what's aspects of that thing is doing to creativity. When people want to create and alter characters, some of the characters that we've grown to know and love, elements of them have been altered. The comic book that you read, the movies ain't coming out like that. The books that you read, when they make the film adaptation, elements of what you read are being altered, omitted, taken out. And these things have a strong influence on the imagination. Remember, when we reading out of Astrostetics, y'all, one of the key words for Neptune is imagination, unknown. Well, let's get into some of the key words. Imagination, unknown, mystery, psyche, creativity, compassion, emotions, oceans. Emotions, oceans. A lot of the times, these oceans and these waves can start with what's going on in the imagination, in the mental sea. Mental, see? It's mental, see? It's a mental, see? And this is something that people got to pay attention to, because this is going to show you where the ebb and flow is. The ebb and flow. This is the current. That beautiful, spiritual, divine, loving flow, right? And when you tapping in with this, how do you maintain that state? What elements of what's going on around you allow you to maintain that beautiful state? How are you imagining that? What are you imagining that to be? And this sheds light on, what's going on with your sense of wanting to be approved by others. Relationships. Is that confusing? Well, let's bring it back to that Venus and Neptune and Pisces. But we got to go in ultimately with the woke spirituality, because Neptune is in Pisces. People getting lost in aspects of spirituality. Think about when a lot of this stuff started. The people at times have only gotten into certain spaces and places because they've gotten lost. They've gotten a bit fantastical. But then people think as if they're unique to a situation, only to realize that there could be maybe, I don't know, maybe like 80 other million people with them. Other 100 million don't care. Other 100 million are aware and are just busy. And then you have a other smaller population of the aforementioned that are in and out with these things. In and out. They don't even realize that they have time to pay attention to what's going on with them. So, y'all, it's very important that we pay close attention always to what is inspiring us. Because y'all heard one of the key words that we read for Neptune was inspiration. No, it was creativity. But the aspect of creativity can lead us to being inspired. We get inspired by creatives. Y'all get where we going here? So when you're dealing with this factor, it's important to pay attention to what is inspiring you. Why is that? Because what is inspiring you can affect your dreams, your emotions, your spirituality, your sense of ecstasy, and how you experience aspects of fantasy in your world. Y'all see why y'all gotta pick up a copy of Astrostetics? And by the way, y'all, like when I'm doing these videos, I'm not reading off no script. I'm not reading off no notes in the background. I don't do that. Like I don't do that. Sorry. Sorry. That's not my swag. I just don't move like that. And that's why, like, I need y'all to understand that this is incredible. You're incredible. You gotta know that. You gotta know that. So with this Venus and Neptune, paying attention to the relationships that you have and paying attention to them in a more imaginal sense. How are the people around you inspiring you on a beautiful, divine, nearly more mystical level? What is that like? Can you imagine the relationships that you're fostering to reflect that? To reflect an aspect of bliss? Because when you get beautifully tapped in with your own world, with your own imagination, you could tap, I think you could tap into bliss like that. Why not? You don't want to tap into bliss? You don't want to tap into bliss? You're bugging. Of course you want to tap into bliss. Right? So that's what we talking about right here, man. Tapping in with the more imaginative aspects of how you want your finances to go, how you want your relationships to go, how you want even your sense of style to go. Man, this Valentine's Day, a lot of y'all ain't even gonna be knowing what y'all want to wear, because this is gonna deal with some imagination around your sense of luxury, your sense of style, how you want to appeal to others, how you want to inspire others, even in inspiring your partner, right? Because that's important to relationships as well. Is this relationship adding to your creativity? Is your partner inspiring you to be the most beautiful, divine aspect of yourself? Right? Because why? That can affect, once again, let's read out of Astrostetics. That can affect your sense of spirituality, your emotions, your emotional waters. And your emotions are very, very important to this thing we call reality, right? So y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all pick up a copy of Astrostetics. I know y'all loving the live. 100,000 people said that they love the lives that we do. So we gonna keep doing lives and getting it lit in live and thrive, thrive, thrive. All right? So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy this and have a great one. And any questions, comments, put them in the comments. All right? Enjoy, y'all. Have a great